Alright, well, without further ado, let's jump straight into Game 3. This is Game 3 in the series between LegendaryDave and Out of Control for the Arabia 16 1v1s tournament as hosted by the Aoe2 HD OZ Clan. If you would like to check out the rest of their stuff, please do. And there will be more commentaries on my YouTube channel. Alright, let's jump straight into Game 3. Alright, so it looks like it's a Mediterranean Vikings war, Vikings mirror match. Alright, well this will be quite interesting. Usually, sea maps like Mediterranean really revolve around which player is slightly more efficient than the other. And this is because the common strategy is to basically get to the feudal age as quick as possible and start popping out galleys, and really whichever player wins the sea tends to win the game. So we see a pretty standard opening from both players with people on sheep and people on wood, although just like last game, Out of Control has opted for a few extra villagers on sheep, and he's eating several of them at the same time and has decided to skip the lumber camp entirely. Oh, this is actually really unorthodox, but quite interesting. Out of Control has got a dock as his first major Dark Age building. You almost never see this. Actually, I don't know if I've ever seen this before. But, he skipped the lumber camp, and he went straight into a dock. So he's getting his dock much sooner than Dave does, although Dave does have a lumber camp with a lot of villagers on it, but this dock is, well, much sooner, and he's going to get his first fishing ship out just as Dave starts to finish that. Well, unfortunately, he gets housed here, which sort of removes any sort of advantage that he would have got. But yeah, typically the player that wins the water wins the game, although it is totally possible to still win the game if you don't win the water. And that is if you transition into a land war, or you micro your remaining boats quite efficiently. But again, that's pretty difficult, and the reason that you want to focus so much on the ocean is because of all this free food here. It gives quite a good advantage, especially in map control as well. It allows you to use transport ships. It's very difficult to feel safe on a map like Mediterranean if you don't control the sea. So yeah, there's transport ships and just all this free food, and you can use the ships to defend yourself. Like you can just put them in these sort of inlet type areas and get some nice defense going. I have no idea why Out of Control does not just go straight into a lumber camp. Yeah, I think Dave is using his first fishing ship to scout. Or perhaps he doesn't have one yet. Okay, now he does. Anyway, one good thing to keep in mind about these sea maps is that you actually gather food just a bit faster from fishing at the deeper fish. Depending on how big the fish is how much faster you get the food. Now, you do gather, fishing ships do gather from shorefish rather slowly. Keep in mind that that doesn't apply to villagers. Villagers get from shorefish quite quickly. But anyway, you do gather from shorefish slower than other fish, and there are situations in which you'd want to grab the shorefish when there's no other nearby fish, but in this situation, he's got a tuna right here, and a great fish marlin, which is oh so much more worth it, and it's right here. You gather from the great fish marlin insanely fast by comparison, and the tuna also give food very fast. So it would just be better if Out of Control was fishing from the bigger fish. And, you know, Dave recognizes this, even though there's a shorefish right next to his dock. Two, in fact. This one, his fishing ships wouldn't even have to move to drop them off. So it would seem like the better decision, because again, it's all about being efficient. You want to minimize the amount of time your workers are walking around to go drop stuff off, but he recognizes that the great fish marlin is close enough that it is so worth it. So yeah, Dave's going to have a pretty significant food advantage here, I believe, from Out of Control. And it looks like this boar lure has gone awry. I would just say that, you know, Dave's efficiency here is just a bit better in this situation. He clearly is playing more standard than Out of Control. And that's not to say that unorthodox builds are bad by any means. They're not. It's just that Out of Control has been just a teeny bit sloppy with getting housed and whatnot, and perhaps, you know, waiting so long to get the lumber camp wasn't worth it. I mean, he got his dock out super quick. I thought that was really cool, really interesting. You never see that, right? So I thought that was really cool. But he has done absolutely nothing with it, unfortunately. So that's why his build, I don't think, is as good as Dave's, because he only has one boat out. It's on shorefish. But he only has one boat out. Dave is going to have 5. And that is going to really, really speed up his food. I think that's just because, I believe Out of Control, yeah, he just has no wood whatsoever. And I honestly believe that's because he waited so long to get the lumber camp out, because he had to chop these trees, which means the villagers have to walk so far. And I think it does. I think it does make a pretty significant difference here. Both players should advance basically as soon as their boar finishes. So we will see that as soon as this, yeah. Dave goes for a forced drop off here, and he is so close. That is tragic. He's going to do that one last time, I think, right now, and he's going to advance. Alright, perfect. And notice how Dave is playing this great. He has 0 food gatherers right now, and, you know, many expert players, as soon as they advance to the feudal age, bam, no more food gatherers. I don't know why those are idle right now, but ignoring that fact, no more food gatherers, because you don't need them. Right, good. He's putting them all on gold right now. This is great. Yeah, this is absolutely great right now. And yes, even more wood. Perfect. Dave knows what he's doing, and he is executing this quite nicely. The reason that you don't need any food gatherers is, like I said, you know, Mediterranean tends to boil right down to the galley rush, and you've got to get those galleys out, but galleys cost a lot of wood and quite a bit of gold. I believe it is 90 wood, 30 gold. So you're going to need a ton of wood for this, and food's not really that important. You're going to get enough food by default from your fishing ships. You really will, to just continuously produce villagers. You don't need any more food than that. You need a ton of wood. So many lumberjacks. And look, he's got 16 lumberjacks. This is exactly what you want. He has so many lumberjacks, and this is so that he can get out extra docks and start pumping out galleys like nobody's business. Out of Control has made a pretty significant mistake here. He's got so many villagers on food, and let's see. He's a little bit behind in the feudal age. That's a bit significant, but doesn't make a huge difference. But anyway, he's got so much on food, which is completely unnecessary. It's not like he's going to be getting to the castle age anytime soon. We have 3 docks from Dave, and he's going to queue up 1 galley at each in just a moment. In just a moment, he will... There we go. 3 galleys from each of them. Great play here from Dave. Dave is showing that he has mastery of the sea maps, and he's also making a great decision here. He's going to wall off with palisades on both sides to alert him in case Out of Control is up to no good. In case he's going scouts or something like that, he would not want to get raided. Well, in case he transitions to that later, because again, your first and primary focus is the ocean. Dave knows this. He's got 3 docks. Out of Control has 1, and he's just been gathering all this shorefish, which he should probably focus... Oh, no. Out of Control is building a market instead of opting for extra docks. So right now we can safely say, as these galleys spawn, that the sea war is absolutely over. Dave is putting down a blacksmith right now. Another reason why you need so much wood. You gotta get out some extra docks. I think 3 is a good number, but you can build as many as you need based on the situation. Anyway, and then you need to get your blacksmith out on top of it. It's a lot of wood that you need, and these galleys are quite expensive. Gonna need a lot of gold miners as well. And then he's gonna get fletching, which applies to your boats, of course. The sea battle is completely over right now. Out of Control, I think, recognizes this, and he has basically said, I don't care about the ocean. I am just going to fast castle. Which apparently he does rather frequently. These fishing ships are dead. What he should do is just run them around the ocean just to make Dave work for it instead of just losing them necessarily. Keep Dave a bit distracted. Now this is interesting, and he could maybe still turn this around actually, because he's going to have a good castle time. A quite good castle time. Out of Control is very good with his fast castling. And perhaps, you know, he could send knights or something and just take Dave out of the game. You know, the sea advantage that Dave gets from having all this fish is not relevant if he gets owned with knights. So perhaps if he goes straight into knights, he can still win this game. And I think that that would be quite an interesting strategy, is to just forfeit the... okay, so he did hide the fishing ships, that's good. Anyway, is to forfeit the water entirely and take Dave out of his comfort zone. Oh, this build's really fine. Anyway, I take Dave out of his comfort zone, send knights in. There's no way that Dave could defend these knights. He doesn't even have a barracks yet, because again, you know, he was assuming, I guess, that Out of Control was going for something more standard. I believe that Dave has stopped his galley production, right? Alright, that's smart that he has stopped the galley production, because the sea war is completely over by this point. So anyway, if Out of Control goes knights, he could still win this game. In fact, I don't think Dave stands a chance if knights come his way. He's going to need to put down yeah, okay, so if he... Has Dave scouted this? Dave has not scouted this. Dave has no idea what's going on. He's playing in the dark right now. Great rush from him, though. Like, this galley rush was super effective. What he should do is he should scout around a bit, which he's doing right now, and try and figure out what Out of Control is up to. If you look at the score discrepancy, that's... well, that's pretty shocking. So you'd have to think that Out of Control has to be up to something, right? And he is. So as soon as Dave recognizes that he's going for a fast castle, I would like to see a barracks from Dave immediately and some spearmen to deal with the possibility of knights, which again could win this game. We got a quite solid castle age timing from Out of Control, and let's see what he's up to. Okay, Doc. At this point, he has lost the water war so badly, it's not close enough that he just needs to abandon it entirely. There's no way that he can claim this back. Dave's got fletching, Out of Control does not have fletching, and Dave's just got more guys and more production facilities. I surely hope he is going knights or something like that. The defense, yeah, see, Dave is just getting his barracks out right now because he saw that Out of Control just advanced, so he's acknowledging that there is a possibility that knights are coming from our fellow Vikings player. And I know that Viking knights are really bad, but in the Castle Age, the difference between knights on all civilizations isn't significant enough to say that you can't build knights in a certain civilization. In the Imperial Age, their cavaliers, though, do become so bad that there's almost no situation that you'd want them, but their knights still can be quite good, and the Viking eco is so strong that it can support making a lot of knights. I would like to see Dave exploring a bit with his galleys, because, again, Out of Control has to be up to something, right? So he's wisely looking around with his galleys right now, and he's trying to figure out what Out of Control is up to. And yeah, looks like he's gonna find it right now. I'm guessing those are war galleys? Actually, they're just galleys. Okay, well, Dave has wisely scouted this. This is a very, very wise decision. And I do believe that this is a terrible, terrible, terrible mistake from Out of Control. Not only did he get housed here, which makes matters worse, and this is why I really like how Dave is focusing these houses. People really do forget how significant it is to destroy the houses of your opponent. So great play here from Dave. The water is completely owned by him. He's completely walled off. So he's not going to be surprised by anything. And when you lose the water war, again, you've got a lot of options. You can take your remaining galleys if you still had some, and you can try and cut off the spawn of galleys from here, or harass the fishing ships. Just run around in circles, make Dave work for it. Or what you can do is transition into a land war. It's hard to win, it really is hard to win when you lose the water, so your best bet usually is to transition into a land war, and Out of Control's decision to fast castle could have been devastating, absolutely game-winning, if he went into knights or something like that. Dave's still, at this point, 20 minutes in, has nothing to deal with these knights. And honestly could have won the game, but he's decided to opt back into getting, to trying to take the ocean again, and if you've lost the water, and it's not close, don't try to transition back into it. He only has 2 dogs. Dave has 3. You only would opt back into the water if you believe that you can somehow outproduce Dave, if the situation has changed that will allow you to outproduce him. But the situation has not changed at all. Dave still has the significant advantage right here. And yeah, again, the sea battle is just lost. I think if Out of Control went Knights, actually, he could have just won. I think Dave would not have seen it coming. He's only got these palisade walls. He doesn't have a single spearman out. And, you know, Dave is obviously looking to get to the castle age, and he's almost there, right? I think he'll transition into crossbows, push right through here, and just wins the game. It's really nice to transition into crossbowmen on maps where you've got galleys, because the fletching and the Vulcan arrow and whatnot applies to the galleys as well. So these are all sitting ducks. Now see, here's something that's really cool that you may have noticed, is that, okay, well, at least initially Dave was focusing 1 galley at a time, and water maps are such a match of efficiency and control, really. So, if you focus 1 galley at a time, it guarantees that you can take them out, and really the micro on the galleys is very, very important. But Dave is so far ahead on the sea map that he absolutely doesn't have to care at this point. Expecting crossbowmen from him soon enough. He's going to get ballistics, and boy, is that guy rich. He goes straight to the Imperial Age if he so desires. Although he probably won't, recognizing that he should probably just press the advantage right now. And that the Imperial Age won't give him that much. I don't think he has an economy strong enough, really, to just go straight into that. I like this town center positioning here. He's got a lot of wood and a lot of farmland that he could put around this. Yeah, Dave has just really seized the water here. And again, you know, Out of Control. He has the option in this case. He can turn around a lost scenario if he put it in, if he just went straight into a land war, but he tried to transition back onto the ocean, which is, in my opinion, a very big mistake. And, well, that cost him a lot of wood and gold. Let's compare equals a bit. Okay, Dave appears to have slightly better economy. Okay, yeah, so Dave is opting to go straight to the Imperial Age. This is going to be, well, quite significant. His economy is not that strong right now, but the advantage here is staggering. Wow, yeah. Both players really trying their best, and Out of Control is, you know, he is trying to get his economy rolling, and he's doing a good job at that. And he's doing what he always does, and what he does great. And he's shown us this in the previous games, that he's really got this fast castle strategy on lockdown, and he's got the boom going on, but I think Dave is just going to run roughshod over him very shortly. Yep, we've got some more crossbows coming out, and Out of Control has no military. He's definitely working on it right now. Super fast Imperial Age coming out from our Dave friend right here. Unfortunate that the wolf has eaten his villager. It's a tragedy to put the tuppence. And yeah, another reason why winning the sea is super important. Like, the map control it gives you is great. It forces Out of Control to not be able to build on the ocean. All these buildings are going to die. That's a shame. Losing the market like that and the blacksmith are going to be quite significant. I think arbalists are on the wave really soon. Legendary Dave needs to get a bit more gold miners, I think. He's recognizing that. Perhaps he needs to adjust his eco a bit. He's got Bracer right now. Wow, yeah, he's got so many upgrades. Great efficiency from Dave here. He's really demonstrating that. Wow, and Galleon already. Yeah, so Dave right now is just showing us that he's quite the efficient player. And these C-maps are all about the efficiency. Dave here putting on a masterful performance. And it would be even cooler if he just pushed in. I know he doesn't want to be greedy, especially because it's game 3, and losing this would lose him the series, but you know, he's got all these upgrades. He could just push in right now and just end it despite the hill advantage. I do like how Out of Control is, you know, staying on this hill. And yeah, he was just waiting for Arbalist. This is going to be an absolute slaughter fest. Despite the hill advantage. Okay, yeah, I do like how Dave decided to walk on the hill as well. I think that was a good decision. Alright, great play here from Dave. showing that, you know, he's an insanely efficient player. And I think the decision of Out of Control to go for a fast castle and just forgo the sea entirely gave Dave a huge advantage. However, I think that risky maneuver could have really paid off if he went into a land war, but he didn't. Out of Control abandoned the sea, he went for a fast castle, and he started booming, but he didn't really do anything with it. And I think Dave really exploited the advantage that he had to his full potential. If you look at this right now, he built a ton of extra fishing ships. This is all the free food in the world that he could need. He obviously doesn't have that many farmers because he doesn't need that. And really just masterful performance from Dave here. He got 2 relics. He was just really, really in the zone. And he got all of his upgrades timed perfectly, super fast imp. So yeah, brilliant play here. Out of Control, trying something unorthodox, and it almost worked, but oh well. Great play here from both players, and let's go check out the achievement screen. Yeah, this is pretty significant as well, as we can see that Dave just really, he just had a pretty big advantage here. As you can tell, though, that the eco thing was quite close between the players, and that's because Out of Control was doing what he does quite well, showing us that he's a very economically focused player, and, you know, he got to the Castle Age much sooner, and he got his economy rolling. You know, 5-minute difference here is, 5 minutes and like 30 seconds is quite significant. But in the end, this is what, you know, is pretty significant, is the army thing. I think it was just a wasted fast castle in this case. If he went for a land war, yeah, look at this. Out of Control had a much better eco than Dave. That was absolutely for certain, and that's because Dave opted for the Imperial Age. But it turned out to be a good decision. It got him a massive, massive tech advantage. And what we see here is, you know, if you focused Dave's weak point, he might have been able to turn this, but it was difficult. It was difficult. He was in a hard situation, and it's sometimes tough to make those calls as you play. Alright, well anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. It was definitely some great matches from them, and Dave just putting on an absolute masterful performance on the sea map right now. His Mediterranean play was great, absolutely great, showing us that he's quite an experienced player. And yeah, Out of Control put up a great fight as well, and he really did show us that he knows his stuff in Game 2. So, great series, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed watching these matches today. I've got more commentaries on my channel, and of course you can find more information on the Aoe2 HD OZ Clan stuff in the bottom right corner. And yeah, Dave will take this series and move on to the next round. Thank you so much for watching, guys.